morning, everybody. Today is April 8th, and we will be working on ten point four, Introductions to Linear Equations. Definitely follow along in the book because we're looking at word problems here. And let me give you some hints as to how to solve a word problem. So solving an applied problem, which just means a word problem. Here are the basic steps. Number one, you want to read to understand. Whoops, hold on a minute. I need to go turn my lights on. They sign off in here when there's no movement in the room. Hold on. It looks as if I'm going to have to leave this desk every so often just to walk in the middle of the room so that the lights don't go off, but it's solid dark then. So step number one, we want to read it, and that just doesn't mean to, whip through this word problem in 30 seconds. What it means to do is that we want to read it more than once here. So number two, what we're going to do, which of course is very important, is assign a variable to represent the unknown value. And, which definitely, if we're drawing a picture, we want to label it for sure. 3, write an equation. Obviously, that is our main goal here, is to write the equation. Then solve it, which you're going to say, okay, I can always solve the problem, I just can't write the equation. So that's what we're going to be working on now, is learning how to write it. Number 5, is this reasonable? And number 6, we're going to do a check. Okay? So let's look. Let's look on page 713. I'm always giving you the page number because we're not in class together, and I just want to make sure you're following in your book, not just viewing me. Let's look at 2A, and on page 713, we're looking at, I'm skipping number 1 because it's basically too difficult. Look at for our level, it's too hard. So let's look at 2A. The 150-member Iowa legislature includes 12 fewer Democrats than Republicans. So let's just kind of look at what we have. We have a legislature made up of Democrats and made up of Republicans. And my clue is all of these together is 150 people. So anytime you can draw a little hint for yourself, please do that. Now let's look at our clue. Our clue is 12 fewer Democrats than Republicans. That's our clue. So we need to know what to let X equal. Should I let it equal the Democrats? Should I let it equal the Republicans? Notice that Democrats is in terms of Republicans. So I'm going to let X equal the number of Republicans. And then it says fewer. Fewer tells me to subtract. X minus 12 is the number of Democrats. Okay, so what we did was we determined what the variable was, and we assigned the variables to what we're looking for. Now we need to write the equation. Well, I need a clue, and my clue says the total is 150. Republicans plus Democrats equals 150. X plus X minus 12 is 150. Remember, we add like terms. 2x minus 12 is 150. Add 12 to each side. Whoops, let's go down here. 2x equals 162. Divide each side by 2, and I get x equals 81. And I want to know, is that 81, is it Democrats or is it Republicans? So I look up here, my x is Republicans. So now I want to know the number of Democrats. X minus 12 is going to be 81 minus 12. You borrowed 1. I have 69 Democrats. Add this up. 10 carry 1, 150 total. So here is our answer, and that's exactly, this is exactly in our world. This is our level. Okay? So draw any hint that you can. You want to always look to see what is in terms of the other thing. So now let's move on. I already did this one time, but I wasn't recording, and so now I'm doing it over again. This is very, it's very learning for me, making a ton of mistakes here. So let's look. Let's look on page 713 and look at 2B. At the 2014 Winter Olympics, Germany won 10 more medals than China. So right now I would write down Germany won 10 more than China. Okay? The two countries won 28. Okay? So Germany and China, the total equals 28. So now I have to decide what should I let x equal and what should I let for the other one. So Germany is in terms of China, so we're going to let x equal the number of medals for China. And now it says more than tells me to add, so I have x plus 10, and that will be Germany. Okay? And now I have to write my equation, and I know that Germany plus China equals 28. So Germany is x plus 10, China is x, and I get 28. 2x plus 10 is 28. Subtract 10. 2x is 18, and x is 9 medals I look up here for China, and then X plus 10 is 19 medals for Germany. Okay? So I want you to do these and redo them to see the pattern. Page 714, we're looking at number 3A. 3A. At a club meeting, each member brought 2 members. So you are going to the meeting and you take 2 non-members. So you are 1 and I have 2 here. Okay? So when you walk in the door, there's 3 of you. Think of what you're doing here. The total of 27 people attended. So I'm going to have members and non-members. But I know the total equals 27. Okay? So I have to decide what should I let X equal and what should I let for the other unknown. Okay? So what we know is that for each 1 member, there's 2 non-members. So I'm going to let X equal the number of members and 2X be the number of non-members. And so what I know, X and 2X, I know the total is 27. So members plus non-members equals 27. There's nothing the matter with putting this down in words, everybody. X plus 2X is 27, 3X is 27, and X is 9 members. So 2X is 2 times 9, or 18 non-members. Okay? So all of these are interesting and easy for us to set up. Let's look. Let's look at 3B. A fly spray mixture requires 7 ounces of water for each 1 ounce of oil. Okay, so we need 7 ounces of water for each 1 ounce of oil. Okay, so in my jar, my container, I'm going to have oil and I'm going to have water. But I know what the total is. It has to fill a quart bottle, and a quart is 32 ounces. Okay? So let's look at my bottle here. Does everybody agree oil plus water is 32? Okay? So I have to decide what to let the X equal. Do you see that the water is in terms of the X? It's 7 times as much. So I'm going to let X equal the amount of oil and 7X be water. So oil is X plus water is 32. 8X is 32. And X is 4 ounces of the oil. This is X, this is 7X. This is oil, and 7X is 7 times 4, or 28 ounces of the water. Okay? Maybe I'll just switch colors here for a little variety. You have no idea, talking to an empty room here. I need something. So looking at number 5, number 4 was a little bit hard. Number 5, 2 pages that face each other in this book have a sum of 569. So let's look at our book like this. And we have 2 pages. And we'll call this page 1 and we'll call this page 2. And you're looking at your book. Look at your book. If you're looking at page 10, this is page 11. If you're looking at page 55, this is page 56. So you know it just goes up by 1 unit. So let's look at what our clue is. It says that the sum is 569. Sum equals 500 or, 69. Okay? So we know that to go from page 1 to page 2, to go from 10 to 11, we added 1. Okay? That's how we label all books. So I'm going to let X equal the first page, and I have to add 1. I get X plus 1 is the second page. Okay? So I know the sum equals 569. So X plus 1 is 569. 2X plus 1 is 569. Subtract 1. 2X is 568. Divide by 2. X equals 284. And X plus 1 is 285. Okay? So you could just go off to the side and you could divide 2 into 568, and that's how you got 284. So this is the first page, and this is the second page. Okay? So things that we can, go in numerical order like that, that's what we're going to be working on. So what am I doing here? I'm going to do the autofocus. Let's see how I can adjust this. Okay. Let me move this up a little. Okay. So now, looking at page 717, we want to talk about even and odd consecutive integers. So even consecutive integers, let's just think about even. 2, 4, 6, and 8. Each one differs by 2 units. So if I let this number be x, to get here I have to add 2, and I get x plus 2. Okay? What about odd consecutive integers? That would be 1, 3, 5, 7. Well, to go from here to here is 2, 2, and so if I let this be x, I'm going to let this be x plus 2. And you're going to say, well, how is this going to work out? How does our problem end up knowing that I want an even integer, I want an odd? Well, what's going to control it is the clue that we're given. The clue will control it, and it all comes out in the wash. So on 6A, look at the clue. The clue says the sum of 2 consecutive even integers is 254. So I'm going to let x equal the smaller. I'm going to let x plus 2 equal the next even, because that's what I said right here is x plus 2, and I'm given sum is 254. Sum tells me to add x plus 2 is 254. 2x plus 2, I'm going to subtract 2 from each side, and I'm going to get 2x is 252, and x is going to give me 126. Just go off to the side and divide, and then x plus 2, I merely add 2, and I get 128. So my two numbers are 126 and 128. Yes, they would add up to 254. How's it going for you? I hope that by doing a lot of problems, that these word problems will become easier for you. And remember, you need to redo them as well. This one's kind of fun. On page 718, we're looking at this. It says find the complement of an angle that measures 26 degrees. And we already did this when we did the geometry, and all you did was you subtracted from 90 and out it came. However, now we want to write an equation. So remember, if the directions say solve algebraically, that's what we need to do. So here's my picture. Here's my angle. We're given 26 degrees and we're given x. So we know we were given the word complement. So complement refers to 90 degrees. So the sum equals 90 degrees. So x plus 26 degrees is 90. Subtract 26 from each side, and you're going to get 4, you borrowed 1, 2 from 8 is 6. 64 degrees for the complement. And yes, you knew how to do that when you were back in the geometry section. All we did was we subtracted from 90 degrees. Now let's look at B. Here we have B, and we have a straight line. We have an angle that's slightly bigger than 90. It's 92 degrees, and we have x over here, and the clue is that this is the supplement. So you know the straight line, the sum is 180 degrees, so x plus 92 degrees is 180. Subtract 92, you're going to get 88 degrees, and x is 88 degrees for the supplement. How's it looking? I hope good. Let's look at, we're now on page 721. And hold on my papers here, I need to, okay, we're on page 721, and we're looking at number 24. I'm skipping a whole bunch of problems there. The group 11 through 22, they are really quite challenging. So I'm being very selective now. The total number of television viewers for the final episode of MASH and Cheers was 92 million. So what I just learned was MASH plus Cheers equals 92 million. Okay? He wrote it out. So I'm going to have MASH plus Cheers, and I know this is 92. I need to define MASH and Cheers. So let's look. I'm given that 8 million more people watching MASH than Cheers. 8 million more watching MASH than Cheers. Okay? So we have to decide what we're going to let our x equal. So we're going to MASH is in terms of Cheers, so I'm going to let X equal the number watching Cheers. This says more, so that's add. X plus 8 is the number watching MASH. Okay? I look at my diagram, the total is 92. So X plus 9, I'm sorry, I messed that up here. So X plus 8 equals 92. Add your like quantities. 2x plus 8 is 92. Subtract 8. 2x is 84. And x is 42. I look to see what did I let x equal. X is Cheers. 42 million are watching Cheers. And then x plus 8 million gives me 50 million watching MASH. Lots of people tuned in. So all of these are in our, these are all our ability range. The ones that I'm skipping are problems that you'll be doing in Math 1100 and in Math 1150. So you need to do these first so you get an idea of how to set problems up. Remember, the best approach is to redo my examples before you start homework. Okay? Redo my examples before you start homework. So let's look on. Let's look at number 26. On number 26, the U.S. Senate had a total of 98 Democrats and Republicans. Democrats plus Republicans equals 98. Clue, 10, oh not more, 10 fewer Democrats than Republicans. 10 fewer. So Democrats is in terms of Republicans. So I'm going to let X equal the number of Republicans. Fewer tells me to subtract, so I have X minus 10 is the number of Democrats. I know that Democrats plus Republicans equals 98. Okay, Democrats plus Republicans is 98. It's very helpful to write down words. Very helpful. 2x minus 10 is 98. I'm going to add 10 to each side, divide by 2, and I get x equal to 54. So I need to know, what does x equal? That is Republicans. X minus 10 is 44, and that is Democrats. Okay? So the more you do, you're going to learn a pattern. So you want to redo mine, and you will learn a pattern, and then when you sit down to do yours, you're going to say, okay, I've done 10 of these so far. I should know how to do this. Okay? So let's look now. We can do number 28. I wish I could ask you to do this problem and get some feedback, but I'm talking to an empty room here. On number 28, in the United States, Accord sales were 41,000 less than Camry. Accord sales 41,000 less than Camry. Okay, so we're in the thousands now. And 817,000 were sold. Okay, so we have our picture here. We have Accord, we have Camry, and the total is 817,000. So I have to decide what to let X equal. Accord is in terms of Camry. So I have to let X equal the number of Camry sales. And then Accord is less. Less tells me to subtract. And so I'm going to subtract 41, and that will give me my Accord sales. My clue is the total is 817. So Camry plus Accord equals 817,000. X plus X minus 41 is 817. 2X minus 41 is 817. Add 41. 2X is 858. Okay, I lost my light again here, folks. I'm in the dark so much. So now X is going to equal 429. So you divided 2 into 858, and you got 429. You look up here, X is Camry. Okay? X minus 41, I'm going to subtract 41. That gives me 8, 8, and 3, and this will be Accord. So remember, we're talking in thousands. So the Camry is 429,000, and the Accord is 388,000. Okay? Now, the problem set has many hard problems, so I went to the back of the chapter and had to pick up a few as well. Your homework then, step number 1, is to redo my examples so you get to see the pattern, okay? On page 720, 721, do 13, 25, 27. Page 757, do 12 through 14, 11 through 14, all of them. Page 760, 11, 12, 14. You certainly want to do the homework close to watching video. And also remember, the notes will be posted on D2L. So this was a good day. You already had the test. Now you did the lecture, and we will sign off here. Thank you very much. Have a good day. And stay safe, everybody. That's the important part. Goodbye now.